My name is Lindsay and I am your host. I am a business coach. I call myself an energetic business coach because I'm a bit like that. But more importantly, I believe that with the right energy behind the actions that you take, anything is possible for you. We as women are really good at wanting more in here, knowing what we want in here, but feeling guilty about that, about not allowing that to bubble to the surface because we're frightened of shining, because we're fearful of shining brighter than the next person, because we don't want to upset people. Women are really good at being people pleasers, about wanting to be there for everyone and putting ourselves last. Today's live is about I titled it, Decide What Needs to Change, How You Need to Change. There's a saying, isn't there? You know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You're not going to get different results if you keep doing the same thing. Nothing is going to change for you if you keep doing the same thing. And that's because what happens when we tend to do the same things, we're holding ourselves safe. And it means we're using a huge amount of energy, time, resource, finance even, to hold ourselves in this place. And I don't want you to hold yourself. I want you to expand. A couple of things. So decide what needs to change. Now, I just want to talk about this decision process because I know how hard it is to make a decision. I know how hard it is to make a decision, particularly if it's about spending. I know how hard it is to make a decision about doing something differently because we all fear that. It's out, often that change is going to take you outside of your comfort zone. But if you've watched any of my lives already, any of my blogs, you'll know that change is always outside of the comfort zone. That's where the magic happens. It's where you allow yourself to expand and to grow and to be the person that you deserve to be the person that you truly know that you are, so that you can be all that you need to be for your clients, your patients, and your customers, both past, present, and future. It's when you suddenly go, hey, I'm ready for this. So decisions can be really challenging to make in your business, and whether that's taking on an accountant, whether that's taking on a VA, whether that's you deciding to invest in the business in some shape or form. So it's really important that we get past this. I've got to wait. This has got to happen. I've got to have that. The world's got to get back to normal. Create your normal and create it here and now. Claim, never mind about creating it, claim your normal. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to make easier? What is it that you now decide that it's, perhaps you've been holding on to launching a program, a service. Perhaps you've been holding off on reconnecting with your clients. Now is the time. There has never been a better time because, as I've said before, if not COVID, if not Brexit, if not something, there's always going to be something. So don't allow the something to hold you back. Don't allow the something to stop you making decisions and creating the normal that you want, the normal that you truly desire. Let those, let the toe-tingling excitement come up. Let the true desires come up. Examine them, get excited about them, and decide what is right for you right now. It's time to be brave. And I know that change is scary, which is another reason I want to tell you to be brave. Another reason that you need to let the feelings of fear go. Or better still, embrace those feelings of fear. Use that energy to be brave and take the steps that you need to do or you need to take. So if there are any decisions in your business right now, whether that's perhaps to invest and come and work with me in the academy, which I'd love you to do. Perhaps it's to invest with another business coach or in another program. Perhaps it's to start a Facebook page. Perhaps it's to start, communicating and nurturing with your client. Perhaps you've got a mailing list. Now, how many times have I worked with a business owner and I've asked them how many people are on their mailing list, and they'll tell me 100, 300, 500. I'm like, how are you communicating with them? Because I get really excited. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not, because I don't want to bother them. Bother them. They need you. Bother them. They signed up to receive information from you. They connected with you. They want to hear from you. So when I'm talking about decisions, I'm not necessarily talking about huge decisions. Sometimes it's the really small ones. Remember, small steps matter. So if there is something going on in your business, there is something that you know that you need to make a decision about, make the decision. Now, I'll let you into this a little secret. When you make a decision and you go down a path and you experience that journey and you experience that adventure and you start taking the actions, things will naturally start happening for you and around you. And you need to be aware of that. And sometimes it's exactly what you wanted. Sometimes it's exactly the path you need to be. Sometimes it is the evidence you need that it's not quite right. And you need to take a U-turn, or not a U-turn, but you need to take a sidestep. You need to take a slightly different path. So that for me is that decision making. I think we get stuck on decisions because we're frightened about making the wrong decision. But what if I told you there are no wrong decisions? There are only decisions that will take you on a path of learning. There are only decisions that will take you on a path of movement. There are only decisions that will create momentum. Doesn't that feel great? There are no wrong decisions, none whatsoever. So start making those decisions. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and that was, this is your time to expand into who you truly are. And I know that I've certainly been on a journey, and I always talk about this journey when I started, meditating and being more intrigued about the law of attraction and learning about law of attraction and how to manifest your desires. And, it's probably been an 18-month journey, but the last 6 months, 7 months has been an even bigger journey for me. And I truly believe that is a time when I've really grown into who I am supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be to do what I want to do, which is elevate, inspire and guide female entrepreneurs to attain their greatest desires. Because this is so important to me, and without sacrificing your evenings, weekends, health and relationships and anything else. Okay, so that bubbling up and clarity has been coming loud and clear for the last 6-7 months for a number of reasons. Most of you know what those reasons are. COVID is one of them, obviously. Okay, so I believe that what starts to happen is when you start to understand who you really want to be, what you really want to do, what your true purpose is. Alongside of that, apart from the voice here that goes, you can't do that, you haven't got enough experience, that voice of doubt, that inner critic, who we really need to say, thank you very much, but not today, and send away, something else bubbles up. And I think this is particularly true of women, but women particularly, as we step into our power, as we start to truly understand who we want to be, as we send the voice of doubt away, we then get these feelings of guilt. And that guilt around, well, there are lots of ways guilt can show up. And I think we can feel guilty about wanting more. We can feel guilty about, definitely feeling guilty about wanting more now, about wanting to create an awesome business, about wanting to work with awesome clients. And so guilt comes in lots and lots of ways. There is a guilt that comes up for me. And it's been kind of a realization, and it's thanks to the amazing Michelle Boakes that this has come. And I had a session with her. She's doing a coaching program to be a financial freedom awareness coach. And I've said that all wrong. But she's awesome. When she's ready, she'll tell you about it. So she needed, I was going to say a guinea pig, but it wasn't a guinea pig. It was an amazing session. And I've been thinking more and more about what came up for me, and guilt came up for me. Guilt around money, guilt about having more money than somebody else, guilt about touting my business and expecting people to give me money during this time. Lots and lots of guilt. Guilt that's all behind me, but is impacting who I am. Because when I look forward, I have no guilt at all. Very interesting. Okay, but this guilt is coming from a place of looking back at who I was, the things I've done, the stupid mistakes I've made, blah, 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 blah. I'm a bad person. So almost like I don't deserve where I've arrived at because of this. So I get guilt around the confidence that I have to be able to do these lives and to connect with you, the confidence in putting programs out there, the confidence about asking you to invest your hard-earned cash with me. And all of that comes from this past. I don't hold the guilt as I look forward, but I have it in this moment. And of course, unless I can get rid of it in this moment, I'm not going to have the future. that as I look forward and everything else I'm excited about. I won't be able to achieve that if I can't get past this guilt. So there is absolutely guilt that starts bubbling up. So I want you to, so even if you don't work with me, I want you to start thinking about this. What are you feeling guilty about? What are you holding on to that's stopping you from having this amazing future? What is stopping you from shining your very brightest right now? What guilt are you holding on to that's preventing you from launching a new program, a new service, from reaching out to your clients, from raising your prices? What guilt are you holding on to that's preventing you from doing that? And they quite often are around money blocks, but not always. A lot of the guilt that I'm holding have nothing to do with money, but they are blocking. So it's quite interesting what's been coming up for me. I hope you can't hear my earrings clicking. I can. I'll try and keep still. That's a joke, me keeping still. Okay. So I want you to, let's just recap a moment. Let me just go back to my notes. Okay. So decide what needs to change, how you need to change, and then make it happen. Because decision-making is challenging. And I think for me, it feels like it's getting more challenging for people. And it feels like we're holding ourselves stuck because we don't know what's coming. And I want to say to you, don't worry about what's not coming. I want you to stop worrying about normal, old normal, new normal, return to normal. I want you to create your toe-tingling, exciting here and now. Okay, I'm not even going to use the word normal. I want you to create your toe-tingling here and now. And I want you to be brave and make the decisions that you need to make, no matter how small or large they are. Make the decision, because you're using a huge amount of energy just going round and round and round and round and round in circles. And that energy could be used to take the decision, to implement the decision. I also want you to remember that no decision is wrong. A decision just sends you, a decision creates momentum. A decision creates, puts you on the path of, and on a journey and on an adventure. It provides you a learning opportunity. There are no wrong decisions, so get making them. Get making them, because if you get to a certain point and you go, okay, this isn't quite working, you can make another decision. There are no wrong decisions. Okay, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. You cannot make the wrong decisions. So get making them, whether that's to invest in me, whether that's to invest in your business, whether that's to stop using a particular social media channel, whatever it is, make the decision and move on. Because until you move on, you're holding yourself stuck. You're holding yourself here. And that is what I am seeing. Start noticing where you're holding on to old stories, limiting beliefs, where the guilt is holding you stuck, because this is absolutely your time to expand, to create the growth for you personally in your business, to move forward. And there is no reason why you can't start that journey now. So make the decisions. Know that you need to make the decisions. Insanity, remember, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Doesn't work. Okay, get ready to claim your true desires so that you can make other decisions to move forward. It's one thing saying to you, make the decisions. It's almost like I've done that the wrong way around. I need you to claim the desire before you can make the decisions. It will help you make better ones. But remember, there are better ones and there are great ones. There are no bad decisions. There are no wrong decisions. So clarity, really, really important. Clarity enables you to stop being busy. So I've written here, stop being busy, stop being busy. Okay. Clarity enables you to stop being busy, because I can tell you until I'm blue in the face to stop being busy, to stop procrastinating, to stop overwhelming yourself. But without clarity, you won't be able to do that. You just keep doing it for a few days, you'll get okay with it, and then you'll be back to where you were. So clarity is really important to enable you to stop being busy, enable you to focus on the important, enable you to give your attention to the priorities to move your business, to create the momentum that you desire, to help you make more wonderful decisions in your business. So the other thing I wrote down here was around changing your attitude. And I guess that's I've been talking about that, letting the guilt go, being okay with who you are today. For me, maybe I wrote this for me. Let that go. Being okay with who you are today, because you are already braver than you ever realized. You are already more amazing than you probably realize, because you've got to this point, and you need to celebrate that. And you need to celebrate the journey that you have been on. And I need to celebrate that journey that I have been on and then let it go. So changing your attitude is around being more aware of how you talk to yourself, what you're expecting of yourself. Stop giving yourself a hard time. And that was another thing I wrote, be okay, but stop giving yourself a hard time if something doesn't go right today. I haven't even written what I'm going to do today, partly because I'm off this afternoon, but I'm like, okay, do you know what? I'll just look at yesterday's list and I'll keep working through that. It doesn't matter. I don't have to write them down again. It doesn't matter that I haven't created a plan for today. What difference does it make? I'm not hurting anyone. I think we give ourselves a hard time about the silliest little things. That one being an example, because I was giving myself a hard time about not writing my plan for the day. The world hasn't ended because I didn't write it. So be aware of how you're talking to yourself. Be aware of guilt. Be aware of how you're feeling. And be okay. Be okay with where you are today. If you're thinking, oh, I could have done more with lockdown, let it go. That's guilt. Let it go. It doesn't matter. Do you know what? If you are saying to yourself, I could have done this in my business, I could have done this in my business, I didn't. The fact you got up day after day after day, you looked out for your loved ones, you connected with the people, that was you being amazing. So please don't give yourself a hard time. The last 6 months has been super, super crazy. And no one should give themselves a hard time. But you know what? Even if we hadn't had a pandemic, I'd be still telling you not to give yourself a hard time. So be okay with where you are today. The last thing I wrote, and this is really important to me, I want you to be okay with wanting more. I want you to be okay with a desire for more, for a bigger income, so that you can do great things. I want you to be okay with wanting a 5-star holiday, wanting to buy a place in Spain, for wanting to pay off your mortgage, for wanting to buy a new car, new to you. I want you to be okay with wanting. Because women, again, I'd love to know if men feel like this as well, but it feels like, we'll just settle. We'll just settle with, I don't know, I the same clothes. I'm terrible for this. I'm really bad at buying myself new clothes, really bad at treating myself, so bad that my husband bought me a pair of Uggs for Christmas last year because he knew how much I wanted them, but I wouldn't treat myself. I wouldn't spend the money on myself. Hell, I would this year. So be okay with wanting more in your business. When we get really okay with wanting more personally, it enables us to look at the business differently. Okay, so you want more, whatever that more is to you. If you want to start creating a turnover in your business of 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, if you want 25K months, if you want to turn over 60K this year, it's okay. It's your number. It doesn't matter where your number is on that scale. It's only a number and it's only important to you. So please, please, please don't get hung up on, that's not as much as that person. It's your number. Providing you have worked that number out and it's going to take you beyond the being okay, then it's a great number. Can't get a number wrong either, unless I think you're not going high enough. Then I'll be encouraging you to go a little bit higher. Okay, so I want you to be okay with wanting more personally, because it makes you look at your business differently. Because if you want to spend more time with your family, then we need to work together to see you earning more and doing less in your business. If you want to be doing, I don't know, if you want to write a book, because by writing a book, you know that you can reach more people, then we need to be ensuring that you're earning more in the business while doing less to give you the time to do that. If you want to be earning more because you want to, I don't know, because you want to become a property magnate and you want to start buying houses, then we need to work out how you can do that in your business. We need to get you focused on creating the income you need in the business to make that happen. It's closing the loop. When you can connect your business and what you personally want, that's when the magic truly, truly happens. And that's not to say that you're only doing what you do to make money. But money is what makes the world go round. And it's nothing more than an energy. So don't get hung up on that either. And more than anything, have you noticed nobody's got any money? It's moving around, but nobody's actually got any cash. When was the last time you had cash in your wallet or purse? Money's energy. it's something that's given in return for something else. So you can have as much of it as you like. And by wanting as much as you want and receiving, more importantly, receiving as much as you want does not deprive someone else of having that. Wanting more, receiving more does not deprive somebody else of having that. Just thought I'd put it out there. And if you're wondering where that came from, I'm pretty sure it's from The Science of Getting Rich, possibly somebody else. But it was a number of places I've read it. And I just love that concept. Embody that. By wanting more, by receiving more does not prevent someone else from receiving more. And let's face it, everyone's receiving more is different anyway. There's loads of it to go around, fear not. So if you want more time, you can have more time. If you want more time, more freedom to, I don't know, to run a home for donkeys, you can have it. You can have whatever you want, but you need to make the decision. You need to decide, which has nicely brought me back to the beginning. Decide what needs to change. Decide what you want. Decide how you need to change and make it happen.